Good evening. Good evening. We got a little echo here.
I love the echo effect. We're coming out of a cave tonight.
That's right, yeah.
Well, Charles couldn't be here tonight, but welcome to our webisode. November the 8th, 2014. David and I are here. And we have the spirits of Charles?
Charles said, he had something that he had to take care of that he'd like to be here, but he couldn't put it off. But he said he'd be here in spirit.
Well, there he is. See, the magic of the digital world. Well, good. We'll have him with us.
He's with us.
And when he's not here, it looks like Big Buck's filling in for him. So that's good. Big Buck is his good buddy, Charles and him. But we're on tonight. We got some fun things. It almost would be a good topic for April, but we'll do it tonight.
Yep.
One of David's favorite topics, taxes. And art tonight.
Yeah, taxes and art should never mix.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Plus, we've got can I say, shocking video coming up?
Very shocking video.
It's one of our interweb finds.
Right.
Oh, this is a good one.
Funky finds off the internet.
And toward the end, we'll have a fun video to share with what I like to consider a major cultural event along where we live here. So we got a lot to get into tonight. So why don't we start with art and taxes tonight?
Art and taxes. Okay. I guess this subject came up a couple of weeks ago.
It's kind of been a buzz on our internet around here.
Yeah, a local thing here. I'm sure it's been a big thing elsewhere too.
Yeah.
But I guess what kicked it off is City of Mobile, out of the blue almost, started wanting artists during Art Walk to have permits to exhibit and to collect sales tax, and just as a brick and mortar business would.
Now, I do personally know one artist that does do the art walk that told me that they will no longer. It's a young lady that does some art crafts with another young lady, and because of the amount of money, they do make a little bit of money, but because they don't make that much, it's not beneficial for them to buy a permit.
Right.
So they're not going to do it anymore.
No, I mean that's the chilling effect it has. As little as artists make in that 2 hours on a Friday evening once a month, I mean it's just. A lot of artists are going to do that. They'll just back off,
right,
and just enjoy the evening and go look at stuff and have a fun time.
Well, if there's there won't be artists to look at there.
No, but not many.
Right, but that can have an effect. Usually in most economic systems, if you want to have less of something, you tax it.
Right,
and you get less of it. Right,
and artists aren't, for the most part, aren't wealthy people.
Most so no. There are a few that do very well, but most,
yeah, like I say, most don't.
Right.
So the added small tax burden, like you just gave the example, makes the difference whether they show or not, or sell or not.
And that's just on somebody I know personally that shared that information with me. So how much it really happens? Well, like you said, probably more than we think.
Right. And this is only on the city level. I mean, you have taxes on county and state level and federal. So, from what I've understand, the actual gain the city, I've started to run some numbers through my head of what the sales might be for the artist on the street for one night, 2 hours, a few artists, and I can't see how the city is even breaking even on this. I just think, and it's not just Mobile, any city.
Right.
The paperwork and the business that it takes to back up the collection.
The taxing process,
yeah,
the collection.
The collection, the paperwork, everything, all of the administrative stuff that they're going to spend a great deal more than they make off of that tiny little portion of sales.
Right, because like you said, the sales don't tend to be that high anyway. Right, so
as a little graphic there said, the benefits of not taxing the arts or artists on a local level, sales tax and permits is would be a financial gain for the city instead of putting money in their coffers.
The problem is the permits. I mean, the sales tax are probably pretty well set up.
Right.
And if you're doing it on a regular basis, you can go ahead and apply and get a tax number, and you can have that, and then you can file online. Sales tax you could streamline, pretty well set up, but the permit process, you're right, that's a whole nother ball game. That it requires a whole different division of collection and everything.
Larger cities that have a more developed, let's say, art scene,
right?
Their putting up tax-free zones for art. Sales tax too. No sales tax on art. We're talking cities like New Orleans,
Right.
New Orleans, Portland, Oregon, New York, Jamestown, Rhode Island's one. There's dozens of cities that have done it on a city level.
Right.
And Rhode Island is considering doing it on a state level.
And like you've got down there, it increases in art activity, and that's good because what's going to happen? Increase art activity, increase viewers. You got more people coming.
It attracts,
Restaurants are going to benefit. Other shops are going to benefit. Sales tax revenue will actually increase.
Would increase. And as a side benefit, businesses wanting to relocate, they're going to see this as a big positive in their decision and moving to a city. So that's a huge.
That's a big draw for a company to relocate or open a new facility because they do look at the cultural environment, educational. They all tie together.
And it's usually high-paying jobs,
right?
Which these people spend money and they pay taxes.
You're right, absolutely.
So it just if you really look at the benefits of an active art scene in any city locally or statewide, the benefits are tremendous financially for the taxing.
Just as an example for us locally, here we are. A lot of towns go through the same issue. You've got the urban center, usually downtown. A lot of people have moved out to the suburban areas,
right?
And they're trying to revitalize the downtown area. They want to bring life back to it. Well, this is one way to do it,
right?
Absolutely.
Set up an art tax-free zone.
So it helps urban development. It gets the downtown area active. You get people down there.
And if you do it on
it's beneficial all the way around.
If you do it on a citywide basis, it's even more benefit.
Right, absolutely.
And I'm a proponent for statewide, 0 fees, 0 sales tax. 0 income tax up to a certain point. Let's say $50,000 and under. If you're an artist, you don't pay any income tax.
Hey.
I mean, we would have artists moving from other states to come
Only thing
here.
I wonder how many people would become artists.
Well, you would have to. We already have that. I mean, in the federal, if you don't make money 3 out of 5 years, you can't claim to be an artist.
Right.
So there are ways to take care of it.
And there are limits they set where usually about $600 a year, which. It can be done. So
I mean, it can be done.
Right.
And it can be done equitably, so it doesn't take money out of the state, city, or county budgets. So as you notice, we're moving on through this pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's a difficult and very complicated issue. But these are just sort of ideas and a sort of an outline of our thoughts.
And it is an issue that does get artists talking, that's for sure. Like we've said on Facebook, we've seen a lot of response with some local shows that have started increasing these fees for. Basically, it's almost you're paying the amount for a yearly permit that you might use 4 days for a show. So that kind of gets artists a little hot.
Yeah.
And like I talked about off the air with you, when we were doing shows, Ohio had a great system. You could do it online, do it to the mail. You only had to pay back then. I don't know what it is today, but back then it was like $5 for the permit.
Right.
They gave you a form. You had the permit and form tied together. It was easy, but it was for that one event.
Right.
So if you were in Ohio doing shows all year in Ohio, they had different things set up. This is more like an out of town, and it was perfect for me. I didn't have to worry about anything. It was easy. I gave them $5. I came in, did the show, paid my taxes. They had the permit.
Right.
I had the
Everybody
permit.
was happy.
They had a record of me being there, and they got their money, and everybody was happy. It wasn't. I didn't feel like they were reaching in my back pocket and just taking everything out I had.
Right.
Which the other way feels like that's how
Yeah, if especially at outdoor shows, I mean, it was always handled as a group thing.
Right.
So it was more efficient. For the collecting agency. They actually got some benefit out of it then. It wasn't as a huge burden on the artist, so the artist, felt like,
Let's
okay, we can do
I know
this.
This is one of your favorite taxes, use tax.
The use tax, this was something I hadn't thought about with, especially on the upper end of collectors and investors who buy art in the 5, 6, and 7 digit range.
It can be a huge unexpected expense.
And sometimes the collectors, the less inexperienced ones, maybe the first large purchase they make, they have it shipped. They buy it out of state, they have it shipped in, and suddenly they find out that they're having to pay the state use tax on it, and the local use tax, and the county use tax.
Right.
So suddenly their $10,000 purchase is an $11,000 purchase.
Hmm.
And they get a little upset, as you might imagine.
Well, some of the worst pain, like I said, can be in that back pocket.
Mhm.
Yes.
And galleries and artists lose sales due to this.
And,
Because when the artist, most galleries would explain you to this, that, this might,
Right.
depending upon how your state does the taxes, you may be
Right.
liable for this. And, anytime anything's taxed, there's less of it.
Absolutely.
Any activity. That's just a
And
given.
I mean, I can
So
just speak on a
galleries
personal
are
level.
losing sales on this
Yeah,
tax.
personal level. I've lost sales because of the
Right.
tax on a higher end, end, because people would want me to eat it
Right.
and pay the tax for them.
Which actually technically is against the law.
It's against the law because you go anywhere, you buy a car, you're going to pay tax on the car.
Right.
That's how sales tax works. It's an added on tax. But you're right. Some people, when it comes to art, are much less. What do you mean I got to pay tax on art? Well, they would think
then
about paying it on cars.
Well,
or-
they don't understand use
Right.
tax anymore.
Right.
They're thinking sales tax. This is usually figured at the same rate
Right.
as sales tax, but it's an added tax beyond sales tax.
Mhm.
I mean,
It can hurt the art sale. Absolutely.
one way that some savvy collectors have gotten around this is have to purchase the artist or gallery that they buy it from.
Yeah.
They actually contact a local museum,
Mhm.
sometimes smaller museums, and they work out a lease or loan agreement where the gallery, the museum hangs it for a specific period of time, and the amount of time would depend on I guess different states
Yeah.
and federal tax,
Mhm.
but they can get around it that way.
Okay. Oh boy, taxing art donations.
Yeah, this is a sore subject too. Every artist gets asked to donate art,
Mm-hmm.
and almost no one asking them to donate art realize that they cannot take a deduction.
No, they cannot. They can take
Only they
material
can take
costs.
materials. No
Right.
labor, no profit, no nothing.
No.
So if you donate a $100 piece, a small piece, let's say, the artist might be able to deduct $5, $10 if they want to act, but they have to be able to prove
Mm-hmm.
the exact materials they used. Well, how much were those 3 brushfuls of cadmium yellow?
Well, that's where you get into
Yeah.
the itemizing of your material costs,
Which
can
is
be
virtually
crazy.
impossible.
Right. And I have seen artists get around this too by swapping works and then donating the other art. But
Yeah,
it's still
it's still
bartering,
income.
and you have to count it as income.
Mhm.
Right. So on an expensive piece, you might not gain anything. All right.
Well, the collectors. Another thing is
capital gains.
large collectors of large artwork or large
Mhm.
collections, or people who go into art collecting specifically for an investment, which the big name artists, they might do that.
Right.
They have a specific problem in that they will, when they sell it, they're liable for federal capital gains.
It's increased
You
in
also
value.
have
You gotta
state,
pay.
and sometimes in some municipalities,
Depends on the state.
yeah, I mean it could end up 28% is the federal, but with the local taxes also,
Mhm.
I mean you could end up paying 35 to 40%,
Mhm.
even 50% in some states. So
And that's
it's it's really an issue with people who possibly collected artwork that simply because they liked it,
Mhm.
and turns out the artists that they collected, their artwork is worth a great deal of money now.
Yeah,
You know,
at
they
the
didn't
time
spend
they
it.
bought it, they didn't. It
So,
wasn't that case, but later in life, it took
They're
off.
getting them
right?
later in life where they can't really afford it.
So,
They can't afford to sell it, and they can't afford to keep it.
and they get penalized for the fact somebody was successful.
And
Isn't
then
that great?
if they decide to keep it, then their
Right.
heirs have the same
Then
problem.
we get into the air problem. Estate taxes. Oh boy.
Yeah, you get into estate taxes, and
And when you're
Those
talking
can-
about big ticket art, that's where you
it's
can
easy to hit the
really-
thresholds, yeah.
Yeah.
so inherited art, the only advantage is if you have an estate, the estate can negotiate sale of the art and avoid a portion of the.
Or another problem, if you can't afford to pay the taxes, then you're forced to sell the art.
Yeah, and that.
So that's great. Pass that down to your.
What they're doing, they're selling the art to pay the taxes,
Right.
And nobody ends up with anything.
Right.
And I guess the federal government, do they have a museum?
Well,
where does it
if you
go?
want to call the Smithsonian there.
Yeah, they could put it there.
Yeah, I guess so. But okay, so what do we got next?
Well, the solution to these problems
Here it is.
are tax-free or enterprise zones. And they've been proven to be very cost-effective. I mean, over the time, the idea of a enterprise zone has been very effective for businesses. Artists are small businesses.
Yeah, and a lot of states use those, like New York's doing it. Detroit's
Maine,
trying
New
to
Mexico,
do things to
Portland,
revitalize. Right.
Maryland all have large enterprise zones, and there's more than 3,000 enterprise zones nationwide.
That means it's working.
And over time, they've proven that the majority of them are very cost-effective.
So why not apply it to the arts?
It should be.
Yeah.
Artists are small businessmen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you're going to make a living with your artist, you have to be a little bit business savvy.
And that's quite true, and they are business people.
So that's our pitch. I mean, the benefits for local, state, and even on the federal level are tremendous. It supports the arts and the artist directly.
And like you've
That's
said,
the important part, is that this supports the artist directly.
Right.
This is, every time the artist sells a painting, it's like a small grant.
Right.
Because they're getting to keep more of what they get.
Right.
And as expensive as art supplies are, they need every dime they can get.
Oh yeah, they're not going down, that's for sure.
Supporting the arts through tax-free zones improves quality of life of the areas that do it. It attracts big business, which in turn increases the tax base.
Right, which, like you brought up earlier, it's a good tool to relocate to an area. Absolutely. They do look at culture in an area, education, everything.
More thriving arts community enhances art education.
Right.
And schools and community centers. It actually reduces the need for arts grants on a state and federal level, because more artists would actually do better financially.
So it would free artists up from government funding, which would be, you would think that would be a goal we want to try to achieve.
Because, I mean, there's fewer tax dollars being spent then.
Absolutely.
So, and it can be more effective than grants because it's spread wider. I mean, you have, you look on our state level, they're what, 10 grants or 12 grants a year?
Grants are automatically going to be limited because of the amount of the resource and the filtering process.
Most grants on our state level are around $5,000.
It actually puts this choice of where the money goes more on a local level. Yeah. It's almost like it's free market thinking. And let the people decide, which is in the end, like you said, widespread beneficial. I agree.
So
now there could be arguments made about, well, the quality of art, but that's, in the end, the beauty is up to the buyer.
Yeah.
You know, let the people make that decision.
So, I mean, what do you think? You had the opportunity to call us on this very phone.
All right.
But time is passing, so...
Well, that's our spin on it tonight.
That's our spin on it.
And what
we got our 2 cents worth in, you could have.
That's right, and we're welcome to always send us an email at ArtStreamLIVE at gmail.com.
Right, I want to look at our chat screen. We also have a chat screen.
Right, and they can
nobody
leave a message on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
But, why don't we give us something shocking? Is that time for that to come out?
I think so.
What about a shocking video? I kind of like this one. All right, this will be good.
Here we go.
All right.
On video, I'm on the interweb.
Hi, I'm Corey, Mr. Safety, and today I'm gonna paint a bowl of fruit with a shot collar on. Oh, God! That's... This is not a good idea. Ah! I just need to get this outline done, man. I've already messed up. Banana's not supposed to go in front of everything. Jeez, I can't focus on what I'm doing. Ow. Alright, I gotta paint faster, so I don't want to do this all day. Dude, this sucks. This sucks so bad. Okay, I just... Okay, I have to paint this melon.
What are you painting?
A melon. Dude! Oh my god, I messed up again. No, I'm screwing up my painting. Okay, these are my grapes. Hey! Dude, I don't know. This is... This is a bad idea, dude. Okay, and then behind here, I have... oh my god, Alright, I'm getting my strawberries. These are my strawberries. Put my strawberries in. Okay, dude. My pear. This is my pear. This is such a nice pear. It was gonna be really good. Thanks, Joey. God, I got another color in. I already got paint on myself. All right, first things first. We need to do the orange. Okay. Okay. There's an orange here. This is... Okay, there. The orange is done. Fuck the orange. All right, we're gonna move on. Now we're gonna do okay, we're gonna do the grape. They're green grapes. They were gonna be purple, but I forgot to. Okay, I have to mix with white later on because that's gonna. Okay, my grapes aren't the right color. All right, screw the grapes. It's a. Okay. No, we're gonna go to the apple. Get this bowl painted here. You know, that's not such a bad... Dude, did you turn it up?
No.
I swear, dude, it's getting hot. It's like getting harder. Our bowl has a lot of... A lot of interesting textures. Get a lot of interesting textures to it. We're just gonna paint over. Okay. Now it's time to make a beautiful background because we need to have a gorgeous background that's gonna look real nice. Yay! Let's go ahead and put a nice sun up here in the corner because it'll look real nice. Yay!
You want to try?
Sure.
Oh God!
How are you gonna do this?
You're just push the yellow button.
Are you just push the yellow button?
No, it's already on the highs. Ow! All right, I'm done.
That was electrifying.
That was.
Yeah. You know, it's a miracle the guy didn't shove that paintbrush through his head. You know, but Well, another wonderful find.
Another, I don't know, could you use that in teaching art? I mean,
No, I like
somebody
it.
does bad art, you shock them.
He's shocking. Who's our filling for Charles there? The keeper of Big Buck tonight.
This is a grandson.
All right.
Max.
Well, thank you for stepping up to fill in for Charles. We
He's
appreciate it, and you're keeping Big
He's our
Buck.
rubber chicken
Yeah,
handler
you're gonna
tonight.
take care of Big
Yeah.
Buck for us tonight. I thought we'll kind of wrap the show up tonight with a special little video about a special cultural event, which I haven't been able to talk about because I had to keep it a secret. But for the past year, we've been working on a major installation at the Mobile Museum of Art for the 50th anniversary of the museum. And it's called the Art and Design of Mardi Gras.
Big deal.
It is a big deal down here along the Gulf Coast. And a lot of people go, oh, I live here at Mardi Gras. But this is different. Now, I'm going to tell you, we've had a lot of people involved with Mardi Gras helping us. And they've all been impressed because we've got in one location. You want to see something about Mardi Gras? We've got it.
This is it.
We have got everything. We've
The
got
complete compendium.
We've got the trains, the costumes, the invitations, scepters, crowns, doubloons, everything. It's all there. Float designs, costume designs, tableaus, installations about Mardi Gras, and it's quite a happening. And we had the big gala this past Thursday night. And I think the video will explain it better. But let me just let people know real quick before we play the video that this weekend, the 8th and the 9th, so you've still got tomorrow, Sunday,
Right.
at the museum. It's a family festival. It's entirely free, open to the public. There is no charge.
10 to 4.
10 to 4. They've got floats. They've got vendors. It's a fun family. Today they had a band contest, the local high school bands. So it's all happening tomorrow, too.
Right.
So get a chance, go out and see it. No charge. It's totally free. It's a gift back to the city of Mobile to thank them for 50 years of supporting the museum. So I think they'll enjoy the video. And we're going to cut back to say goodnight.
Yeah, we'll say goodnight.
All right, we'll say goodnight then. So enjoy the video.
Boo-lam, 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 boo. Too-lam, 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 too. Ring-a-ling, 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 ring-a-ling now. Sking-a-ling, 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 wow. I know this song don't mean a thing. Just do that plain old Charleston swing. When you sing, toot-lam, 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 toot. Boo-lam, 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 boo.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right, so if you want to see Mardi Gras, that's the place, Mobile Museum of Art. The exhibition will be up through May the 3rd, 2015. So I hope people enjoyed that, and everything's been positive. I mean, the people involved in Mardi Gras
Right.
simply said they've never seen anything like it. In fact, I talked to a fellow that makes floats from New Orleans. He said he had never seen a party like that in his life for Mardi Gras. He said it's great.
Yeah, that's a pretty big
I
compliment
said,
there.
yeah, it is a good compliment. So I hope folks can get out and see it, and it's part of the gift to the museum back to the city for 50 years. So, now we got Tuesday coming up. I want folks to remember our veterans, Veterans
Right.
Day. Don't forget them. And Charles, we're sorry you couldn't be here tonight, but we got a great feeling for him tonight.
Yep.
So, Max, we're getting ready to tell everybody goodbye. You
One
wanna
more
work, Bob?
thing.
Oh, one more thing.
One more thing.
One more thing. That's right. We got some art to
Collector's
show.
Corner.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I almost forgot. Thank you.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of artwork.
That's right.
So, this is one piece. I think it's 10 by 20 inches.
Wow, that thing looks like
It's
it's
not
10
nearly
feet
as,
by 20
it's not
feet.
nearly as big as
I
it
like
looks.
that.
so.
That's beautiful.
But these are available. Look on Facebook, Simmons Fine Art,
All right.
or you can go to simmonsfineart.com.
Big
Another
Buck
one?
likes them too.
Yeah, there's Big Buck right next to that one.
All right. Well, those are good.
So there you go.
I'm glad you remembered that. We got to
Yeah.
get our collector's corner in. Well, you ready to wave bye-bye? Tell everybody good night for
Everybody
the night.
wave bye.
All right, everybody, good night.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
So long.
So long.
I like that.
Oh, I know. Where's my bar? You want the big one or the little
Big
one?
bug. There you go.
This
Big
one?
bug, man.
Oh.
Put the sheath out your nose. You got no food yet?
I don't know if you got any footage yet. Oh, you're not on?
Yeah, it's on.
on.
It's recording.
No,
That ain't gotta be long. I'm only talking about like 5 or 6 seconds. I mean,
No, that's it.
that ain't gonna be like a minute or nothing.
Taxes and art should never mix.
Ba 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 ba